Everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. It's a beautiful Saturday morning and we are working on some European machinery. 2004 Audi A6 wagon with a 3-liter V6. Got about 110,000 miles on it. Owner complaint. He said a couple weeks ago his check engine light came on, no drivability problems, it turned back off, came back on, and just yesterday it started misfiring. You could feel it. So plug in the scanner, scan this thing for codes. Let's see what we got. Alright, we got mass airflow sensor signal too low, fuel trim bank 2, fuel trim bank 1 too rich. Interesting, so that could be all related. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, stop it. Then we have a load calculation cross check. No idea what that means. Random cylinder misfire detected and a cylinder 3 misfire detected. So for the misfire, the main drivability problem, we want to focus on that guy, obviously. First thing we want to do is return to main menu. And just look at the, well, I guess there's no troubleshooter. Let's look at our component test meter. Just want to see the cylinder bank layout. A6. Yep. Fuel injection, ignition control module, component information. Alright, so this has 6 individual coils and does not give us the firing order yet. Ignition tests, component information, same. Oh, there we go. Firing order 143625, cylinders 1, 2, 3 on the right side, front to rear, cylinders 4, 5, 6 on the left side. Okay, so right side over here, so this cylinder is more forward than this guy, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the owner says that you can actually see he in the past had to replace some ignition coils. So this guy's new. Number 1 is new. 2 and 3 look original. 4 looks original. 5 and 6 are new. So cylinder number 3 right back there. That's the guy we want to focus on. These things are kind of a pain to disconnect. You have to disconnect all 3 to get the wiring harness out of the way, I think. But in any case, what we can do is, just because I don't want to take all this stuff apart just yet, use a little paddle probe, get on here, and see if we can, on the scope, if we can see an ignition pattern. And we'll go from there. Alright, it took a second. Here's our paddle probe. Threw an adapter to the Varus. Ignition scope. We just want single cylinder. Oh. Let's see, back out of here. Single cylinder ignition. And let's see if we can catch anything here. Let me start it up. Oh yeah, it's misfiring, alright. Try to set up the scope here and then focus it in. Alright, so check this out. I just got on regular scope setting with the trigger right there. This is 200 millivolts. So I put the paddle probe right on top of the coil. So that's a known good. And number 2, similar pattern. Number 3, that's all we got. number 4, number 5, number 6. Interesting, right? So again, 1, 2, 3. Definitely an ignition coil problem or a spark plug, but no, it's an ignition coil problem because it's not even building up the charge. So the new ones, this is 5, 6, good. The old ones, you can see it's different. This is another new one, and then these 2 old ones. And that one's not working at all. So I think we're done with the Misfire Diagnostics. Just tell them to get 3 more ignition coils. I mean, 3 of them are new. Got more failing ones, might as well replace the other 3. And once we get that fixed, then we can look at the fuel trims and mass airflow code. We can briefly take a look at the data. I don't want to run it too long with the Misfire, but let's just see if the mass airflow is reading anything at all. See what the fuel trims are. But with the Misfire, you can't really do too well on fuel trim diagnostics. Alright, just a little follow-up. Didn't record this part, but we took and swapped the coils around and also took the spark plugs out and just took a look at them. They're fine. And coil number 3, coil number 2. Let's see if the Misfire moves from cylinder number 3 to cylinder number 2. Jump back into our scanner. Keys on. Activate that guy. Scanner. So customize that guy. Deselect all. Let's look at engine speed. I don't know, O2 sensors, why not? Misfire cylinder 1, 2, and 3. We can do all of them. Mass airflow. Make sure mass airflow sensor is working or not. List view. Let's fire it up. Let's look at a Misfire. Yep, it moved to number 2. Look at that. Counting straight up. And our mass airflow sensor seems to be responding just fine. So at this point, we're getting, it's up to the customer. The plugs looked okay. There were auto lights. I would recommend the original, NGKs or Bosch that came in this vehicle. And 3 coils. Should be it. We'll do a follow-up video in a bit when we get the parts. Alright, see you next time. Bye-bye. Back to the Audi wagon a couple days later. Package from Rock Auto arrived with some brand new Denso ignition coils, and as far as I can tell, they are the OEM supplier. And they only cost 17 bucks a piece, so like a tenth of dealer cost. Probably not, a tenth, but very, very affordable. So you might as well replace all 6 if you have one of these cars. But since 3 were already replaced, we just got 3 more. These are the ones that came out of it. It's hard to tell if what's OEM, what's not OEM. Like this guy here actually says VWAG on it. So I don't know if that came straight from the dealer. All these guys, no idea. Like 160901II. So is that like a Dorman part number? We don't know. But if all of them say that, 1L, and this guy 14001G. So I don't know. Maybe it's a Dorman, maybe it's not. But they all look the same, not OEM, versus the ones that are already in here. So we're going to put in the Denso units. They fit very nicely, very snugly. They even come pre-lubed with dielectric grease. It's a beautiful package. There you go. Nice fit. And fire this thing up, clear the codes out, and then we'll see if we have any mass airflow and fuel trim problems. Alright, ignition coils are in, everything's plugged in. We're back on the scanner. And before deleting all these codes and starting from scratch again, I want to take a look at the freeze frame data for that mass airflow and fuel trim codes, because if we can't recreate it, we're starting from scratch. But if we at least take a look at the freeze frame, we won't be starting from scratch, and sometimes that's the way to deal with intermittent problems. So again, here's our list of codes. Yep, we have cylinder 2 and 3 misfire detected because we moved the coil around last time. 0300, this guy's related to the MAF, and fuel trim too rich on both banks. So I think all these codes are related to the mass airflow. Let's take a look at the freeze frame. And that's it. It won't give me a freeze frame. That's nice. Let's see here. I just want to look at the freeze frame data, that's all I want to do. And we might have to go through OBD2, which is a shame. It shows that we have freeze frame data. Okay, so Snap-on apparently just kicks you out when you try to look at the freeze frame, unfortunately. So let's go into OBD2. So we'll clear out the vehicle. Well, let's just back out so we don't mess it up. We don't want to clear anything. Continue. Alright, so now no active vehicle, OBD2. See how long this takes. Alrighty. So, again, let's see what codes we have in here. Should be the same ones, but with the generic P, 4 digits. Okay, so we only have 4 codes here. 102, 175, 300, and 303. So it's interesting that maybe the other ones are pending, but you know, we don't see that in the OBD2 system. So in any case, the P102 is the main one, I think, and system 2 rich would mean that means the fuel trim was trying to take fuel away, right? And it couldn't take enough fuel away. So it's interesting. If you have a low mass airflow, circuit low, there wouldn't be enough fuel injected to begin with, so you would have a system 2 lean. So that's interesting that these codes are here together, because it would seem like that they're contradictory. But again, Let's look at the freeze frame if it is available. Freeze frame data. So for the 175, we have -16, -20 in the long term, -14, -13 in the short term. So this is an entire engine. Bank 2 tripped the code, but both banks were equally trying to compensate for something. Calculated low value is 40. This sucks because we don't even have a mass airflow sensor reading here when this happened. I am almost tempted to hook up another scanner so we can see more freeze frame data, because this is good stuff right here. The fact that, you know, this happened. I'm sure our misfire's fixed, but you know, let's hook up a different scanner just to see all the freeze frame data. All right, using the trusty Autel, we have the same codes. There's the mass airflow code, bank 2 mixture adaptation too rich. Same with low detection code, multiple cylinder misfire, cylinder 3 and 2. Let us look at the freeze frame data. Hopefully there's more here than on the snap-on. Function not supported. Damn. That's why our snap-on didn't display that. Last thing we can do is go home and just going through the OBD2 menu. We found the right protocol. KWP 2000 codes found 4. Okay. Read codes, stored codes. 102, 175, so the same ones there. Escape pending codes. Okay, so we have, actually that one's pending as well. And let's see what we have in the freeze frame. Ah, 175. However, let's see here. Closed loop, 40%. Damn, so they don't give you a mass airflow reading when the thing acted up. That's just silly. So we just see negative fuel trims. That's it. In this case, let's clear out the codes, hook up the snap-on, go into OBD2 mode, and just look at mass airflow and fuel trims and take this thing for a spin. Alright, let's clear all emissions related data. Continue. Alright, sweet. Let's look at our data stream. Before we start the car up, I just want to see the mass airflow data from a cold start. Alright, customize this guy. deselect all, engine speed, fuel system 1 and 2, throttle position, air temperature, airflow grams per second, and then we want long-term and short-term fuel trims. That's about it. I guess we can look at the O2 sensors. Oh, let's see. Equivalence ratio. Bank 1, sensor 1 milliamp. So this is, well, actually it looks like it's wideband, so we don't really care about that. List view. Okay, cool. Just focused on the mass airflow. Let's start it up. Smooth. No misfires. Awesome. I like it. We should see the short term start to correct whenever this thing goes into closed loop. See how long that takes. It's actually a very slow update rate. You see this data PID's updating quite slow. Boom. 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 So like once every 3 seconds, that's terrible. I'll let this run for a little bit. Ooh, that sounds mean. Look at that throttle response. Damn. Open loop driving, closed loop. Alright. Now we get to see our fuel trims. About -7, -3 there. Okay, that's on the short term. Long term is at 0 since we just reset the memory. Yeah, we can take this thing for a spin. Real quick, I want to use the paddle probe on the ignition coils to measure the, the pattern, to see what those old crappy ones compare to the new Denso ones. See what a known good brand new coil looks like, and then we'll take it for a spin. Alrighty, we got the paddle probe out. So first let's measure one of the original coils, the ones that we didn't replace. So we saw that pattern before, if you remember. Now let's try one of the Denso coils, brand new ones. Exact same pattern. I like it. Third Denso. Beautiful. Other bank. Same pattern there. And the two coils that were in the engine before we got to it, same and same. So that's it. Took care of the ignition problem. So those 3 coils, definitely replaced all of them. They were different. Now they're all the same. Denso is the OEM supplier. So good stuff. Let's take it for a spin. Alright, we took the Audi wagon for a nice little test drive. Got some high-speed driving in there. You see our mass airflow sensor, the maximum value was 104 grams per second. Right now at idle it's 3.5, and it's a 3-liter engine, so the rule of thumb of 1 gram per second per liter is pretty close. Fuel trims look amazing, like within a couple percent. It runs butter smooth, great acceleration, great power. Last thing we have to check is if there are any pending codes stored in the computer. So we'll just display the trouble codes. And if there's nothing stored, I think this car will be ready to go back to its owner. No codes present. Awesome. What we like to see. So yeah, started with 6 codes, and the only real problem was that ignition coil. Potentially the rich code could have been caused by ignition coil failing, not firing, fuel is still injected into the cylinder, and the oxygen sensor could say mixture is rich, trying to dial back the fuel, car runs rough, sets of mass airflow code at the same time, so like 6 codes from one bad ignition coil. And the scanner did say don't replace parts based on codes, and we're gonna stick to that. So that's it. I think this car's done. Thanks a lot for watching, and let the owner take it, drive it, and if anything else comes up, we'll do a follow-up. But with that, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.